I'm just going to invite Megan to join our live. So I've just sent an invite to Megan to join us. Today we'll be talking about techniques on how to relax during lockdown, which is obviously something quite relevant as that'll be starting tomorrow. So it's just a little chat between me and Megan, things that we found helpful a couple of months ago, and from one student to another, some advice that we hope can help some of you guys. So we're just waiting a couple of moments for Megan to join us. We're both PhD students at Kent, and we did our undergraduate studies as well here. So we've been at Kent for a while, and we've got some ideas of outdoor spaces in particular that we really would recommend. Obviously, you can go outside, and Megan, oh, one moment. And hopefully some of our tips you guys might find helpful.
Hi,
Hello,
sorry
Megan.
about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, hello.
Just on a quick introduction. Do you want to quickly introduce yourself, Megan?
Hey, hi everyone. I'm Megan. I'm a PhD student at the University of Kent. I also did my undergrad here, so I know the campus, I know the city, and if you've got any questions, feel free to ask. Yeah.
Awesome. So today we're going to touch on how to relax and look after yourself during lockdown at university. And it's important to note we are not trained therapists or mental health experts in any sort of way. We are just sharing with you what works for us, and hopefully some of you guys might find our tips helpful. Hopefully. So yeah, I've also posted a little note. If you've got any of your own tips of how you relax, you can just post it in the comment box below. And yeah. So today we're just going to kick off with some ideas and just have a quick discussion really between us. I find that university can definitely feel overwhelming at times, so that's totally normal, and it's really good to have some techniques to help you manage your stress and anxiety, particularly if you've got deadlines around the corner or other concerns, and obviously your personal lives as well. Everything happening at once can be very overwhelming. And there is lots of support at the university available and online that you can adapt and use to manage your stress and anxiety. If you do want to find out more about the wellbeing support at Kent, you can search wellbeing on the Kent website, and the team are lovely, the wellbeing team, they're fantastic. I can't recommend them more. All their contact details is on there, so feel free to have a look. So personally, I think one of my biggest top tips is to have a routine. I don't know how you feel about that, Megan.
100%. I literally have to map out my days with what I'm doing hour by hour, or I could just stay in bed scrolling TikTok all day. Yeah, having a routine is really helpful, whether it's a work-based routine or some days, for example, today is a stressful day with the US election. So today I'm having a more chilled day, less work, more self-care today.
Absolutely. With a routine as well, it helps you structure your day better. Otherwise, like you said, you could just be stuck in bed all day and just not feel motivated. But I like to have a list that I can tick off all the goals I'd like to complete for the day. Don't necessarily get them all.
No.
Make sure they're manageable goals as well. Maybe like even small things. Don't have anything crazy. Make sure they're achievable. And yeah, it's a really nice feeling ticking it off when you're
Yeah,
to do.
I always have things like wake up is my first thing on my to-do list all the time. And you start the day with a tick. It's all do you know what I mean? If you start with a tick, it feels like you've achieved more even at the start of the day. So that works for me.
Definitely. What's your top tip?
In terms of a routine or in terms of just trying to relax?
Yeah, and relax in general.
I try and make sure that in my schedule, as well as the work hours, I factor in the kind of me hours. So recently I've been trying to do the Couch to 5K, like I think everyone started during lockdown. I still sort of around week 4 and I've been on week 4 for about 10 weeks now. But I make sure I factor that into my daily schedule so that I can get some fresh air. It releases some endorphins, and
Mm.
it's a way of sort of getting some daylight, especially now that the nights are drawing in quicker. It's good to have that section of time that I know I enjoy and I know that I feel better from.
Mm.
Yeah.
Definitely. Mm. So I quite like using the outdoor spaces that we have available to us. I'm based in Canterbury, but I've been to Medway, and there's also some really nice spaces there. With Medway, I would really recommend the Riverside Country Park. There's a
Oh,
really
okay.
nice scenic route, and that runs along the estuary, so it's a really nice river walk. And there's also a local nature reserve as well in there, so it's a protected site, and there's loads of wildlife, and the birds there, apparently it's really important for the birds to have that area. So yeah, it's really special, and it's a bit different as well if you're not used to the countryside kind of feel.
Yeah.
It's nice, a little escape, I guess. Um, yeah, Canterbury, obviously, Megan, I'm sure you've got lots of ideas for that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Mm.
really like the kind of Westgate Gardens area. There's a
Mm.
lovely walk alongside the river near the big Kingsmead Sainsbury's.
Mm.
There's a nice walk from the river there where you can walk all the way through the kind of centre of Canterbury beside the river. Um, and yeah, it's so nice that even though we're technically kind of a city, it's nice that green space is always within a 10 or 15-minute walk away.
Mm.
I've also walked around the city walls before and sort of followed the path of those, which is a
Mm.
nice long walk where you get to see the parts of Canterbury that maybe, if I don't know if you're like me, where you sort of go to the supermarket and come home again, it's nice to see those parts of Canterbury that you don't always experience.
Mm.
um so yeah, I enjoy that.
Yeah, definitely. I love Westgate Gardens. If you walk a bit further on, you get to the marshes, and you guys, you've probably been there. There's a swan there, and they're called cornflake. It's really cute. Yeah. So say hello to cornflake if you do have a little walk down. There's also a donkey, I think, and lots of farm animals.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go and explore that way at some point, I
Mm.
think.
Yeah, I've never seen the donkey yet, but I'm gonna see him. And also the cycling routes as well,
Yeah.
around. I'm not that big on cycling, just because I'm not very good at cycling, I don't think. I can ride a bike, but I don't feel like confident enough to go on a long bike ride. I might look into that during lockdown, practice a bit better.
Yeah,
But no, there's
there's,
loads of cycling routes around
yeah, like
town.
the Crab and Winkle path I've heard has got quite a good
Mm.
cycling route to it, which gets, I think, as far as Whitstable, which
Mm.
is a nice way of, even if we are going to be locked down, a nice way of seeing a bit of some, maybe not central Canterbury. It's a way of getting far enough away that you can get some
Mm.
different air, see some different sights, but then also be back in time so you're
Mm.
not out all day. And yeah, it sounds like fun.
Definitely. And I think it's also, if you live on campus, that's quite a good one because the route starts on campus, so you don't have to
Yeah.
scale another. Well, I think there's a bit of a hill, but not as another hill on top of that, getting
Yeah.
up from town. And there's always cycle paths as well. Yeah, all around town actually is quite. It's not bad.
Yeah. I know
Mm.
it's good to know all the kind of local paths and outside places. I know I do most of my relaxation indoors. I'm more of an introvert, more of a kind of homebody. And finding ways, especially during lockdown, can maybe be quite difficult with the
Mm.
change in daylight. I've just
Yeah.
looked at buying one of those
Mm.
SAD lamps so
Yeah,
that I
I
get
was
the
just
kind of
going to say.
the effect of natural light
Mm.
indoors until later. I think that's going to do me the world of good. I've got one of those on order at the moment, so
Awesome.
that's my first lockdown purchase for this time.
They're actually really good because it helps you get. It's a really bright light though, so be careful when you turn it on. Don't look at it
Yeah, don't
directly.
look straight
Um,
at it.
yeah, a lot of my links in with my PhD research actually. It's sort of light and sleep. It really helps get your body into that rhythm, even though you're not necessarily getting enough natural daylight because we can't just because it's shorter hours now. But no, they're really good apparently. I really want to try them out. And I've read a lot about them, so it's really exciting. Got a little bit excited there over a
Yeah.
light. Goodness. But yeah, let me know how that goes. I'm really curious.
Yeah, I will do. My housemate's got one
Mm.
and she says it's really good, so I'm
Mm.
hoping that bit of extra natural light will help me maybe get more used to being indoors more, especially with the nights drawing in earlier. But like I said, most of the things I do are to relax are indoors. I try and keep off screens as much as I can, because like you say, if you're typing all day and working, it's nice to rest your eyes. I've recently have I got them grabbable? Yes, I have. I got some of the blue light glasses in a box here, so that's helping adjust to the amount of screen time I'm having to do because we're all working at home. But then my relaxation time is now hopefully not as much on screen. I've managed to get some of like the adult colouring books. I may have ordered a Christmas one that I cracked open the other day and started colouring in. Maybe a little bit premature, but it was after Halloween, so I'd argue it's fine. And things like that, like I listen to the radio when I do it quite a lot, or I listen to podcasts. It's good to have something going on that isn't necessarily all using my eyes and giving myself a headache indoors.
Definitely. On the topic of Christmas, even though arguably it's a little bit early, but it's never too early now. I feel like we all need Christmas right now.
Yeah.
The lights have just gone up, so I'm really looking forward to having a walk tonight. Westgate Towers, they've put them up over the evening, I guess, and they look really cool. For those who are new to Canterbury or the university, it's really nice. It's just a nice little walk, and it really lights everything up. Yeah, something different as well. It gives it a different feel. So yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing them.
Yeah, no, they look really cool. Well, they're the same every year, but for those who've been here before, it's exactly the same. But it's nice. It's something different. And I'm hoping actually, because I did that Study Plus course, which are free courses you can do alongside your studies. I did a photography one, and they were talking about night photography, and we were all meaning to go on a little walk together, but obviously circumstances. But no, I'm really excited to take some photos and use those skills I learned. Nothing to do with my degree, totally random, but just something on the side I found, had a spot, and I signed up, and yeah, highly recommend if they're running over this term. So yeah, definitely reduce your screen time if possible. Obviously it's not
always an option, no.
Yeah. And a lot of us are just on our computers all day. If we're not writing or doing whatever, I could be scrolling through Facebook and Netflix and emails.
Yeah.
But yeah, try and get some time off, or I guess the glasses, I guess, if they work for you.
Yeah, they're working for me so far. I've also tried to, because I study English literature, a lot of what I do is reading, but I have a very light and shade kind of in my reading habits. I have like my serious work reading, and I've recently got into some really light, fluffy romance novels. So I'm glad that I've got that kind of relief at the end of a working day, where I can switch my brain off and read something purely for fun, completely unrelated to my work. That really helps me wind down before I go to sleep, because then you haven't got the light of your phone keeping your eyes awake. And I've really enjoyed kind of switching my brain off with those recently. Some of the plot lines I've read are absolutely ludicrous though, so that was almost better. It's good to read something a little bit on the obscure side. Yeah, I've really enjoyed that recently.
Something different, yeah. I guess other sort of ideas. I know you mentioned theatre productions as well online, and
yeah, there are still a lot of those going on, especially with the lockdown happening again. There have been some more productions announced online. I believe there's a Christmas Carol one coming up, I think it's done by the Old Vic on the run up to Christmas. The Globe is still sort of doing ones that you can purchase. Maybe that's something, if you're in a household on campus, you could do as a household, all get together in the kitchen. I mean, self-isolation permitting, if you're all locked down as a household, doing an event like that would be quite nice. We can watch a film, watch a series. I know my house, we've just started watching Schitt's Creek, which is brilliant, and a few episodes of that a night is going quite well for us. Yeah, just having a TV event is often good. If you haven't got a TV license, there's so much stuff on Netflix and Prime and loads of different streaming services as well. And yeah, I'm really enjoying that. If you live on campus and your parents have a TV license, you might not necessarily have to get one. It's worth looking online, so you may be able to watch things. As long as you don't watch things live, you should all be fine.
check the rules
Yeah, I was
and
going to
make
say, don't trust me on that. Check all the rules.
yeah.
I live off campus now, so I have bought a
Mm,
TV license. But yeah, it's enjoyable. Just
mm,
kind of bonding over a box set is really
definitely.
good.
We've started Money Heist and Sherlock as well, both of which I haven't seen yet, and I can't believe I haven't seen it. They're so good. It's one of those you watch one episode and you want to watch the next one. But
Yeah, I feel like I have to watch all of them.
yeah, I'm trying really hard to string it out. But yeah, definitely getting together with your house if you live together will really help you just because it's difficult being on your own in the house all day. And if you don't have someone else to chat to, even if you're not necessarily chatting, just hanging out with someone, it's really nice.
Yeah. And although we've
Mm.
just said about not doing too much screen time, video calls are always a good thing.
Yeah.
My
Mm.
family have a once a week chat where the day my aunt takes my grandma her grocery shopping, she phones like all the grandchildren and my aunts and
Mm.
uncles, gets us all together on the phone at once. So that's normally Wednesdays in about an hour actually. We'll all have a
Mm.
big chat. And it's nice because it's not only us on campus that can be isolated. Getting in touch with those people that might be isolated at home, somewhere else in the country, it's nice to get back in touch with people and check in on
Definitely.
everyone.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
how I'm spending my afternoon, I think, after this.
Excellent. Other things, I guess, sort of away from the screen time thing is cooking's quite a good one. If you, I guess, if you like cooking, that's quite an important factor.
Yeah.
But just finding a new recipe and trying something new or reading around different ideas. I ordered a food box thing just to try out, and that was really interesting because I don't normally cook certain. I don't usually cook fish and things like that, so that's quite
Yeah.
fun to try something different.
It's
Or
nice for a
like,
change.
yeah, definitely, and just to get something exciting, something different.
Yeah.
And if you've seen it online and you can cook with your house as well or alone or whatnot, that's quite a versatile thing that you can adapt depending on whether you are on your own or in a larger house. We'll
Yeah.
take turns cooking different bits and all chip in and then argue about who's going to do the washing up at the end, I guess. But leave
Yeah.
that to
My house has quite a good deal. I'm normally the washer upper, and my
oh.
housemate is far better cook than I am.
Mm,
But things like since the last lockdown, I became that person that makes loads of banana bread. I became that person. I learned how to make homemade sausage rolls. It's ready-made pastry, but it's going outside your normal scope of cooking.
mm,
I know normally I make the same 5 things over and over again. Just
mm,
trying a new recipe once a week has just given a little bit more, where I'd normally go out for a meal or something like that to have that variety. It's nice that I can now
mm,
do that kind of variety myself. It's made me a bit more self-reliant and a bit more, oh, I'd argue I'm a slightly better chef as a result. Other people
definitely.
might not. It's only me eating it normally, so I'm very biased. But yeah, it's nice.
Mm,
It's nice to try a bit of a change, mix things up a little bit, and even just try foods that I never would normally try and make at home.
mm. I like how as well timing is quite crucial in cooking, and that really helps structure, I guess, the cooking experience in a way, as well
Yeah,
as eating at the end, which is the best part. Just sort of going through and having that mini routine within the cooking recipe, and I know I quite enjoy it in a weird way. Because it kind of takes your mind off things as well, and you might have some music playing on the background, and I find it quite
yeah,
relaxing. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
definitely
always
might
nice
work for
to
someone.
it's
Hmm.
always nice to also, as weird as it sounds, it will be spending a bit of time not in your bedroom. I know
Mm,
that's something that, again, student housing, most of my life is currently in my room. I wake up and take 2 steps to my desk. It's nice just
mm,
to spend some time downstairs with some slightly
mm,
different light, with the window open, being able to just look out of the window at the street, see people
mm,
go about that day. That kind of sense of being part of a community maybe isn't, when we're in lockdown, we might not see as many people, even just looking out the window and people watching. I'm like making up stories about what you think people are doing in my head. I find that
mm.
really relaxing. I think I have a vivid imagination for that. Um, but yeah, it's nice to have a new experience. I'd say although sometimes the cooking can be stressful, the
Mm.
end result of the actual eating is always good for relaxing.
Yeah, I agree. Mm.
Another
Awesome.
thing
Yeah,
oh, sorry,
go
you
for
carry
it.
on.
There you go.
I was just say, it just reminded me, another thing I do to relax is often put on a face mask at the start of cooking. So while it's cooking, I'm also doing something else relaxing at the time.
Mm,
So if something's in the oven for half an hour, like cleanse, tone, and moisturize, I got some really
mm,
posh face creams and things for my birthday that normally I wouldn't know what to do with. But using that time that otherwise, I'd sit there scrolling TikTok or
mm.
Instagram or something.
Yeah.
It's nice to do something that's a little bit pampery, or paint my nails.
Mm,
I haven't done it for a while now, but doing something that makes you feel better in yourself as well can also be really relaxing.
mm. Definitely. That's a really good tip, actually. So it's even more relaxing, like
Yeah.
doing two relaxing things at the same time.
The only problem is when you've got wet nails and then have to get something out of the oven. That's when your
Yeah.
timing goes a little bit askew. But I think everyone else can time things far better than I can.
Mm. Great. Any other ideas you'd recommend? Any tips?
I'm just having a look. I'm obsessed with Sudokus and puzzle books. That's another thing
Mm.
I really enjoy. Popping the radio on. I like those, those kind of logic squares where you get like 6 points and you have to decide who is attached to what with what. It's almost like kind of mini Cluedo in a book.
Yeah,
I
it's actually not right.
Yeah, I really enjoy
Mm.
doing those. And again, they're activities that might not take a long time out of your day. They might take 10 or 15 minutes, but again, it's maybe using your brain in a way that I don't normally do. It's nice to
Mm.
do something slightly mathematical, slightly
Mm.
logical, and you can do it with a cup of tea in the afternoon. If
Mm.
if you've been working hard, it's nice. You can sort of get away, do something different, put your brain something else, and that, I know for me, that kind of rejuvenates my brain slightly. I don't want to overstate it, but it makes my brain, by taking my brain away from what I've been focusing on for a long time, it refreshes it a little bit, I find.
Mm. Yeah, good ideas. Definitely. But like I said, these may work for some people, but not always. But I'd recommend giving them a go. And if they're rubbish, then you're rubbish. Don't use them again.
Yeah.
But if they do help someone, that's the aim of today. Just hopefully we're able to share some ideas that could help even one person who's watching, which will be fantastic.
Yeah,
Um,
different things work for different people, and
mm,
if if there are some things that I use to help cope with this kind of lockdown that, like you said, might not work for other people, but if
mm,
even one of these things works in a slight way and you can adapt it
mm,
to suit your own kind of way of life, then that's brilliant.
mm, definitely. And I guess the other thing is if you find that you aren't able to control and limit your stress or anxiety levels, and you feel like it's becoming difficult to manage on your own, or if you're finding it hard to relax and would like some additional support, do speak to the university wellbeing team. They are there to help. Obviously, these tips can only help you so much, but if you do feel that you'd like an extra bit of help, don't hesitate to get in touch with them. Their information, like I said, is on the university website.
Yeah, they're an excellent team, and
Mm,
I know throughout the last set of lockdown there have been a lot of online appointments, so you don't have to worry
mm,
about necessarily meeting someone face to face. It's good that there is the help out there. It isn't cut off because of lockdown. You aren't cut off from university services. The university is still here.
mm.
It is still functioning. The university never closes through all this, so it's good that people are aware that these services are there if you need them.
Definitely. Great. Have you got any last minute advice?
One thing I have been doing is using apps like Headspace and Calm and doing kind of quiet
Mm,
5 minutes or meditating apps, even if it's just mindful breathing, just taking yourself away, especially in the
mm,
last 24 hours, just taking
yeah.
yourself away from the thoughts in your head for a few minutes.
Mm,
I find it's been really relaxing and has helped me then refocus, find what I need to do, and yeah, just 5 minutes of mindfulness can often, I
mm,
know that's what happens with my anxiety, it can calm me for a while at least. But yeah, and also what I've done this week is I've moved things like my news apps into a folder so they're not immediately on my screen. So
mm,
if you are concerned about events that are going on in the world at the moment, limiting your time on the apps that you know will give you stress, maybe finding things that you know will make you happy. I've been on Reddit looking at, there's a hashtag R, which is basically all cat pictures and dog pictures and animal pictures. That has been like
amazing.
my salvation this week.
Mm,
Um, Curating your social media in a way
yeah.
that You know, I know you've said before there are good news channels that come
Mm.
up with the kind of, and finally, like you'd see on the news, those kind of good news stories that we all need at the moment.
Mm.
But yeah, between that and cat pictures, that's really helped me when I've been on social media. Um, yeah, recognizing that I don't have to check BBC News every 5 minutes, recognizing that the world is going on outside of me, and taking myself away from it has really helped me in the last few days.
Mm, definitely. And yeah, good, happy, sort of nice social media posts are always really uplifting and nice to see, even if it's
Yeah.
something like silly, like cat photos, like
Oh yeah.
obviously not really of most utmost importance,
Yeah.
but just something different, something that you wouldn't necessarily, I guess, scroll through. Some things that might not necessarily make the actual news. But through social media, people have made different accounts, and it's just nice to read through and not have something different as well, and a bit of a pick me up.
Yeah. Anything that's a
Mm.
pick me up at the moment is always good.
Yes, definitely. All right. So, unfortunately, I think we are running a little bit out of time, but we will be back in a few weeks with another chat. And if you do have any questions in the meantime, just message the official university channels, either here on Instagram or on our other accounts. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you, Megan, for joining
That's
us.
fine.
We hope someone watching has found our tips helpful. And please do remember, if you would like that additional support, the university wellbeing team are always there to help. So please don't hesitate to get in touch with them. Um, yeah, hopefully this has helped somebody out there.
I hope so.
And thank you again.
Yeah, I'm now going to go and actually take up some of my tips. I think I'm going to paint my nails, have a chill, and maybe do some mindful breathing. That feels like a plan for the rest of the afternoon.
It sounds like not a bad plan. I've got to do some last minute shopping bits, which I don't know. After that, I think I will need to relax. I feel like it's going to be a little bit chaotic, but it's okay. We've got all these tips now, so
Yeah,
I'm ready to give them a go.
good. Well, have a good rest of your day.
Thank
I'll
you. You
speak to
too,
you
and
all
thanks
soon.
everyone for watching. Yeah. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.